This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for the magicwordpodcast.com. This week's episode is brought to you, as usual, by the Friends of the Magic Word. I want to thank each and every one of you individuals and listeners out there all over the world who have helped us in a financial way with your support and sending us donations or giving us a donation when you see us at a magic convention, or also through Patreon or PayPal, where you can donate on a ongoing basis. And over the years, there have been well over 10,000 listeners that we have on a regular basis here from all over the world, literally from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe. And throughout the years, there have been only about 230 people who have become a friend of the Magic Word and who have donated even $1. And there are some who within Patreon, they have monthly donations who have been giving from $1 on up. And after you take out the expenses for Patreon, it ends up to about 47 cents for $1 or something. And the higher that the amount is, then the same thing with PayPal, that they also have a pretty good charge when you're just doing small amounts like that. But the higher that it is, the less they take out. And so the more that ends up going towards the Magic Word to help defray the costs that we have here. And I, again, appreciate all of those who have given. If you want to find out more information about why we do need your support, there is a video that if you go to the magicwordpodcast.com and click on the tab that says Friends of the Magic Word or Become a Friend of the Magic Word, there's a video that you can watch and to give you a little bit more details on that. So if you can help us with your support, that would be great. And in that regard, there is one of the listeners who is one of our ongoing supporters each month who has joined us a long time ago on Patreon. But in addition to that, each year he comes back and says, I would like to have a little celebratory message for my birthday. So on June 27th, this individual named Bruce Lish will be celebrating his birthday. And so I wanted to give a great big shout out and thank you then also for a little additional contribution he had made in order for us to give you this following message.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. All right.
Again, happy birthday, Bruce. It's so good to have you as a friend of the Magic Word, and thank you for all that you do to, what I always like to say is, putting your money where your ears are. And if any of the rest of you feel that you are in a financial situation that you can assist us, that would be fantastic. So if you have something that you would like to celebrate, of whether it happens to be your birthday or a wedding or a divorce or whatever that you would like to have a little shout out or just mentioning your name, that's always available. Just contact me. That's Scott at themagicwordpodcast.com, and I can send you some details as to what we could do to go forward and to make that happen. This week, by the way, it will be the last of these two particular chats that I had when I was at the Magic Saloon in San Antonio. I had one which I recorded and posted last week with Scott Pepper, who is the proprietor of the Magic Saloon. And then this week we're going to be talking with Jade, and we're going to be getting with her in just a moment. But next week we're actually going to be going to Appleton, Wisconsin, the acclaimed home of Harry Houdini. And since this is the 100th year of his passing, there are a lot of activities that are happening around the world world, actually, having to do with the celebration of Houdini's 100th year of passing. And again, Appleton was he was born in Budapest and then moved to Appleton. But the Society of American Magicians is celebrating their annual convention there because Houdini was one of their first national presidents of the SAM. And there are a lot of activities. I can tell you right now, a friend of mine, Gene Protus, has made some 3D printed busts of Houdini that people are going to be receiving gratis. I know that also John Midgley has made some Houdini playing cards, which are going to be going to registrants as well. And there are a lot of other surprises. I don't want to spoil other kinds of things, but it's going to be just crazy and off the hook. This will be a one of a kind. And if you want to get someplace, here we are again. We just celebrated the first of summer in the Northern Hemisphere here on the 21st of June, and it is hot, hot, hot. And I'm sure up in Wisconsin, being at a higher latitude, that it should be a little bit cooler, at least than what it is right here in Austin, Texas, and perhaps even where you are. So it'd be a good way to kind of get out of the heat for a little bit and get into learning some more history about Houdini. There will be a lot of things going on, including even the first evening in which Dorothy Dietrich is going to be hosting a seance. So and my friend, the Black Houdini, will be doing an upside-down straitjacket escape outside from a crane, replicating something that Harry had done many years ago. And so there are evening activities and shows. John Cox will be in attendance, as I understand it, and he's going to be hosting something. We get, I think, a chance to see the Grim Game movie of Harry Houdini's. Bunch of stuff. If you haven't registered for the SAM convention, I don't think it's too late at this last minute to make a place for you in Appleton, Wisconsin. I just wanted to mention that because I plan to be there, and I'm going to be giving a daily report from the convention. So if you, for some reason, can't make it, then you can always listen to the daily reports and kind of keep updated on what's going to be going on. One of the things that I think you might be interested in also has to do with a Houdini pinball machine. I believe this I know it has been mentioned on John Cox's blog on wildabouthoudini.com, but this is going to be something special. It's a 100th anniversary pinball machine, and it's going to be a silent auction that will actually give you an opportunity to buy this amazing pinball machine. If you go to this week's episode at number 974, you will see pictures of the pinball machine there in the warehouse. And also, if you click on that link, it will take you to the actual bidding site. So even if you cannot attend this convention, it might be something that you might want to bid on anyhow for your home or your office, or if you happen to be someone who operates a magic theater, this would be kind of a cool thing to have in the lobby or something for your guests and patrons to play. And this, again, is a one-of-a-kind. It is apparently one of the original 100 manufactured by the American Pinball Machine, and this particular one that you're going to be bidding on is labeled with SAM number 1, and it's brand new, boxed, ready to be delivered to your house or to your office or business or wherever you want to go. And the net proceeds, are going to be supporting this new film project the SAM has called Houdini Unbound 100 Years and Beyond. But again, I recommend that if you go to this week's episode 974 and you can click on that, you can not only take a look at that, but you can place your bids. And starting bid is $6,000, and I believe they already have that as a bid out there. So estimated bid is for this to actually go somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 because the retail is about $8,000 on this. And so I think because of the fact that this is it's such a limited edition and a special one, that with some of the money going to net proceeds going to help with the SAM film project, I think that should be reaching that amount. Anyhow, I just thought that many of you, some of you might be interested, if not bidding on that, at least going and taking a look and seeing what is out there and you can aspire to. But if you've got room in your house, I wish I did, you can bid on this. the 100th Anniversary Houdini Pinball Sign and Auction. And by the way, I'm going to be in that same room, so if you happen to be at the convention, the pinball will be there, so you can actually play this. There's the demo of this pinball machine, so you can play with it, and also I'm going to be in that same room, so be sure to stop by and say hello to the Magic Word. Alrighty, well, enough on the front end of that. Let's get straight away over into our guest here this week. We have, as I mentioned, Jade as our guest of honor for this week's episode, and she is actually a winner of the, I talked about the SAM, but also the I.B.M, the International Brotherhood of Magicians, many years ago decided they were going to try to have something that would be a high award that would be an equivalent of a Grand Prix for FISM. And so they have a gold medal for stage excellence, and then they also present a gold cups for the close-up. Well, 1980, I believe, was the first time they had awarded that, and that went to Lance Burton. Well, in 1990, it went to... Now, I also should point out, it doesn't get presented every year. It's only when there has been someone good enough in that particular year that they believe, they could be awarded the gold cup or the gold medal. There have been awards given for first place, but not necessarily the gold given. Well, our guest this week, Jade, who was one of the people who won for stage the gold medal in 1990, and it is amazing. And she's continued to work her act around the world, and as someone who, if you haven't had a chance to see her beautiful act, she has a great, I think it was an 8 or 12-minute silent act, but aside from that, her talking act is very entertaining, and I know if you are an organizer for a magic convention, you might want to think about booking her, because she's someone who is not necessarily on everyone's radar because she's off working different places around the world and working some cruise ships, et cetera, just the normal places that kind of keep them off of the general magician's radar. So you don't necessarily see her all the time, maybe at the Magic Castle still from time to time in Hollywood, but not around the rest of the magic community, as I said, at conventions and the like. So we're going to get a chance to talk with her and hear how she had developed her act, why that she had taken on the Asian persona, which she is Asian, and that she's going to explain about how that had helped her and what she is doing now and kind of her future then as well. So please welcome my guest here this week, Jade, on The Magic Word. Today we're going to feature a tremendous magician who has been touring the world for a number of years and has many accolades to her name and has won many awards, including the gold medal from the International Brotherhood of Magicians for her stage act, and has performed, of course, at the Magic Castle and so many other places, and has a beautiful Oriental act that tells a story just without any words, that she can tour the world with this, and has just a fabulous 8-minute act. And again, it's proven itself because of the awards that she has won that has taken her from one city to another and around the world. We happen to be in San Antonio actually right now at the Magic Saloon, where she is performing here this week. And we have been friends for a long time, but never had an opportunity where we could actually sit down for an hour and chat for a while, because she not only does stage, but also is well adept at close-up as well as parlor, and pretty much you name it, she's done it and been there, and is just a marvelous lady and a fantastic performer, magician, and friend. And here she is, Jade. Hello, Jade.
Hi, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you could be available and that you're here to do this. When you had won the I.B.M, what year was that?
1990.
90, okay. Well, time goes back a little bit on that, because that was probably about the second or third gold medal that would have been awarded, with Lance Burton getting the first one.
That's right. That was 1980.
Yeah, in 80. And so then for a long time, and I was there, I saw that. When
when you won the gold?
I was there when he won the gold in Evansville.
Wow.
I remember that he had practiced, throwing his doves, when he went during the daytime to the theater just to get the doves used to the spotlights to make sure it came back to the stage. And it just showed the dedication that he had. And I'm sure that you do as well. And there were many years that went by before they gave the medal again. Were you the second or third,
No,
maybe?
I think
Howard Hale may have been the second.
He was there. I think I might be the fifth winner.
Okay.
Or the fourth. I can't remember. Early on.
Certainly
because
the first
it's only
woman.
a 10. Yeah, first woman.
Have there been other women who have actually won gold medal?
I think there was one other Asian woman years later. So definitely there are at least two of us.
Okay.
But very rare. And not always every year for the gold medal.
Yeah. Boy, that lady, what's her name? Ding Ma?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my, she's fantastic.
I can't remember. Yes.
Yeah. Does some dove productions. Did you ever think about working with livestock? Or did you for sure?
I tried. I didn't have the patience because I was starving my doves. They still wouldn't come for the food. And I thought, I have no time. No, I can't do this.
Well, another thing is if you're going to be traveling, certainly it's going to be a hard thing to try to quarantine them.
Yeah, no, that's a headache. I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, and so you never worked really with livestock. I mean, obviously with never big tigers or anything like that.
No. That was just too much work. But before we go any further, Scott, I just want to clarify one thing. One thing is, some of you out there may be thinking I do manipulation with cards. Wait, let me just say,
Let's clear the record on that. Yeah.
It's okay if you get us mixed up. Juliana Chen and I have often been mistaken for each other. Mm-hmm. And I'm honored to be mistaken for Juliana. And I think it's the same for her. We see each other and we're like, sister, where are you? Where have you been?
Exactly.
We're like sisters. Nobody can tell us apart. Exactly.
That's too bad.
So I'm the one that does the rice bowls, the butterflies, and the mutilated parasol, things like that. Definitely no cards. Juliana is the queen of cards.
Boy, isn't she? I think as much, if not more so, than Jeff McBride. I mean, she is amazing. Amazing.
I totally agree with you. She is amazing.
But she's a whole separate lady and a whole separate act and everything, and that a whole separate episode. This is about you, and about how that you developed your act. And speaking of which, that because you are Asian, Chinese in particular, but you were born in San Francisco, as I recall. Is that right?
No, I was actually born in Indonesia.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was 6, the family moved to Taiwan. We lived there for 3 years. And then after that, we immigrated to America, and I was 9. Mm-hmm. So when I first arrived, I had to learn how to speak English, starting 4th grade with learning the ABCs and see, spot, jump.
Right.
So, and I remember thinking that I'm going to learn and master English with no accent. So that there would be no prejudice when I'm doing business on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I listened very well to television, learning my English. And that's why you can't tell that I don't have an accent. My older siblings do. I'm the baby of 4 kids. The older the sibling, the heavier the accent.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah.
Because typically, as I understand it, that if you are about 7 years old, that's around the time that if you learn another language, you still retain an accent from that language you had from 0 to 7. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Is that what that is?
That's
statistically, is that what they say?
Psychologists.
Interesting.
I may be wrong about that, but that's what I've heard from before. And so what I think even more amazing is not only do you not have a hint of any kind of Asiatic accent whatsoever, is that it's also cosmopolitan from the standpoint that since you said you listened and learned a lot from television and movies, they typically will have people who are from the Midwest who will have a generic accent. So it's not like Chicago accent or New York accent or even a California type of accent. You don't sound like you're a California girl. Is
that right? I don't have no idea where do I sound like?
You sound like you're from the Midwest. I mean, you sound like
right?
You sound like a news anchor lady who is be on the NBC News or something. You just have. Now your act is not a talking act, which you do whenever you're obviously walking around doing close up and everything, though. But not for that. So you don't have an accent.
Thank you. Well, through the years, though, talking about the act. I was just thinking about the evolution of my act. I started with just my 8-minute Chinese act. Mm-hmm. And that took me around the world because I didn't have to speak and there was no language barrier.
And did you do that act because of your Chinese heritage? Or you kind of felt like I'm forced into this because that's what people think we should be doing?
No, you know what? I have to tell you. The life of an immigrant is that you want to separate yourself from your culture as far as you can when you're an immigrant, when you're young. You just want to be assimilated into your new culture as fast as you can.
Makes
and
sense.
You ignore your own culture. That's our own mentality. Because you want to fit in as fast as you can.
With the rest of the schoolmates and friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so for the longest time, I didn't want anything to do with being Chinese because that's not who I am now. I'm not Chinese.
You're American. Yeah.
That's right. And but it took me putting this act together. I came up with this idea of putting an act together to work at the Magic Castle. And because I heard that was the epitome of being a magician.
And you were about how old, 18?
I was, I've worked in the magic shop since I was 17.
Okay.
So I was there for 9 years.
Were you in San Francisco working for Joe Pan back then? Or
No. It was called the World of the Unexplained Museum. You went through this museum, you came out into this magic shop on Fisherman's Wharf.
Huh.
Not Pier 39, Fisherman's Wharf on Jefferson Street. And with that, when I first started, I was actually very, very shy, not able to make any sales. So 6 months into my employment, the manager came to me and said, "I'm sorry, we're going to have to let you go."
Wow.
What?
You're saying what?
Oh, yeah. They said, "Well, you weren't making any sales." Well, yeah, I was really, really shy. For me to speak to a complete stranger and
Interesting.
sell them something, that was I was deathly afraid of that, opening up my mouth to a complete stranger. But that forced me to start a conversation. And I remember they were saying, master these tricks. We'll teach you how to do these things, these magic effects, and then you can demonstrate. And therefore, then that might encourage your self-confidence and you have something to show to people that you don't know. And so with that, I started to talk to strangers because I'm now demonstrating. I'm not making a conversation. And now I got used to talking to strangers in the 9 year period. And I think...
At the magic shop.
At the magic shop. But I believe it was... So in 1990, I won the gold medal. It took me 3 years to work on my act. So in 80, so that would be, I think it took me 3 years to work on that act on my own before I worked
at the castle.
Through the castle and all of that.
And you knew you wanted to have an Asian act
because at that point I started
You're starting to embrace your roots.
Because
you're confident, hey, I'm an American, now I can go back to my roots.
Well, I thought, you know what it was? I'm going to tell you. There was a friend of mine who is American, and he did a Chinese act. And he would draw his eyes to look Asian.
Okay.
And I was assisting him. I would be in full Chinese Peking opera outfit. And I'm thinking, I'm really Chinese. And he's trying to look Chinese. Wait a minute. Yeah. Maybe I should embrace me. I'm just naturally Chinese looking. So that was what happened.
Interesting.
I then embraced, I thought, well, I'm going to do my culture then. And I embraced it from that point, putting the Chinese act together.
Interesting, okay.
And then because I worked at the magic shop, I could pick and choose what I wanted. I had access to all the books, all the tricks. Cool. At that point, I was the assistant manager. I could put in orders for things that I could buy one of and say, no, that didn't work, but I'll keep it.
Yeah.
So the trick I do with the silk from paper and then turning with the water appearance, that was in the discard box at the magic shop.
Nobody was buying it?
No, it was just tossed. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll play with this. And you know what? That actually does not exist anymore. It was called Sil-Leak. Silk production, liquid production. And I tried looking for it. I have not been able to find it at all.
Who made that? Was it Abbott's or somebody? Or?
I don't remember. It was just in a box of discards. So I can't tell where it came from, but I remember It was probably in a box or something.
They weren't two separate tricks that were put
No,
together.
it was
actually
one trick.
Okay.
But it doesn't exist today. If any one of your listeners know about this, I would love to know if there are any more. I'd like to buy some more.
Okay. But the effect is basically where you have a newspaper and you show the sheet, you break into it, pull out the silk, and then...
And then you can, after the silks are produced, from the same newspaper, you produce liquid.
Got it.
So anyway, it was just the evolution of things and me thinking, okay, what's Asian and what's feminine? So the rice bowls definitely fit in.
Yep. Snowstorm in China.
Snowstorm in China, right? Definitely.
Rice bowls, like you said.
And the rice bowls. Now, and the mutilated parasol, how that came into my show is because, remember I told you my American friend doing the Chinese act?
Yes.
I never got paid to be his assistant. So after a while, he paid me with his mutilated parasol. It was a well-made one from Colon, Michigan. From
Abbott's?
Abbott's, yes. Yeah. Abbott's, the best. I still use it today. It's lasted all these years.
I know Trixie Bond has that as part of her regular show that she does, like where she's like playing a character, and uses a mutilated parasol. So I know it's still part of working performers' repertoires.
I love that routine. Love it.
Mary Poppins, that was a character.
Mary Poppins.
That she does.
Perfect.
Kind of a thing, yeah.
Perfect.
But with that, it sounds like, so you assisted him. Did you dress in Oriental garb then as well?
Yes, the whole Peking opera
support
clothing.
Him?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
He had all
was
the
his
outfits.
done the music as well?
Yes,
okay.
He had Chinese music and everything.
And so he's kind of faded from the light and nobody followed him necessarily anymore.
He's actually passed. So
okay, well, we don't need to talk about him. But then as far as your act that continued.
So, but so anyway, that was the 8-minute act that I finally put together and worked out. And I have to say that it was through working through the multiple times of the routine. In the very beginning of putting the act together, I was not listening to my music. I used the same music, but I wasn't listening to it.
You weren't doing it by the beat.
That's right.
I understand. Yeah, it was just background noise.
Background noise.
You chose it because it had an Oriental theme or sound to it?
It was modern-ish, but Asian-ish.
Got it.
So it was the combination. Because real Chinese music is not, I think, suitable for most European or American.
I think that's true. It's kind of like Indian music or some Mexican music. I mean, a little goes a long way.
Yeah, exactly. So I want it to be pleasing for a long period. 8 minutes is a long time. And the interesting thing about that music is, first of all, the music that was produced in China, they're not, what's the word? When you copyright it. They're not copyrighted.
Okay.
So I was able to use the music everywhere and anywhere. And
that's nice.
Yeah. And I got the original recording from an LP that I found. And somehow it managed to be very clean so that I'm still able to use it. I was so lucky.
You were able to digitize that and continue to use it.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, all in all, everything started to fall into place. My costume came from Channing Pollock's wife, Corey Pollock.
Really? She wore it, or she had sewn it, or?
No. Corey Pollock, I visited Channing, and Corey Pollock was Chinese, right? She's passed. And Corey had said, I have a trunk full of Peking opera outfits. You want to see if there's anything you want?
Wow, and you're going, yes.
Because previous to that, I was wearing Japanese kimonos because I didn't have a outfit.
Right.
So I went to their house, saw one red silk Peking opera dress. I put it on, and it fit me like a glove. And I thought, whoever wore this was exactly the same size as me. And that was my first outfit. And so I wore that through. I won the gold medal with it, blah, 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 and so forth. So every time I don't wear it now, it's kind of threadbare.
But you didn't even have to try on the other ones. It's like, thank you, Cora, this is it.
Yep. And she only charged me $200 for this outfit, which I know that it's worth a lot more. It's made from silk and well made, all hand sewn, all the sequins and beading.
Yeah, like
everything.
A wedding dress, I guess. Kind of those are handmade. A lot of wedding dresses.
That's right. That's right. I try to duplicate it, from the Shanghai Peking Opera multiple times, and the Beijing Beijing Opera as well. And they simplify, they cheapen all the work now. They don't do by hand. It's all machine sewn. And this was like 20 years ago. I said, can we duplicate it because mine is threadbare? And I send it to these different locations. They send back what they have, and it's
still not the same.
Nope. You know it's cheap now.
Huh. I'm surprised because I know that you can buy, I mean, I could buy a three-piece suit for like $100, you know, tailor-made or
that's
something.
Sewn.
Yeah,
the beading is hand done.
I see what you're saying.
They will not do hand
don't do that.
beading.
Gotcha.
That takes too long.
Okay.
They will machine
they can
sew the
tailor
sequins.
it, but they're not going to, okay.
Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. That's just time consuming. And so when I got back what they had, I was very disappointed. So when I went to, I think Beijing, or maybe it was Shanghai, I can't remember, one of the places, they had another one. So my second outfit, which I wear now, is the blue Chinese dress. And from there, that one, I've made that into my quick change, because then soon after I was told, we need 20 minutes. Do you have 20 minutes that you can give us? We're doing a Canadian tour. Back then, I only had an 8-minute act. But of course, my answer was, yes, I have a 20-minute act.
Of course you did. The answer is always yes, right?
And then I thought, oh my God, okay, how do I do 20 minutes? I only have 8 minutes. And then I thought, I'm not going to spend 3 or 4 more years putting another 8 minutes of silent material. I don't have time. Because the
it took a lifetime just to put together 8 minutes.
That's right, that's right. So I thought, I have to break out of this dress. So I'm not Chinese anymore. But how do I do that? So I figured out a way, because back then, quick changes, I couldn't find out how to do quick changes. There were no books. Nobody was willing to share how they did it.
Was that in the 90s, or would you say
in
early 2000?
In the 90s, early
90s,
90s,
yeah.
91.
No, David and Danny weren't around, or any of those people back then. Yeah.
Nobody. And so I figured out a way. I made it, and it worked. I'm still using the same method. Maybe it's not the best method, but it works.
It works.
I'm staying with it. So that allowed me to have 20 minutes. The thumb tie came because I thought, okay, now I'm in an American outfit. I'm in a modern dress. What do I do now? I thought, oh, yeah, I like that thumb tie routine.
Beautiful. And samurai sword? Is that what you
no
use,
sword. No sword.
Okay.
With a pole, which you'll see later when you come to the afternoon show.
Okay.
It's Asian themed, but I think I do it in a way that most men cannot, which you'll see later. But it's the same thing that I presented on the Penn and Teller show.
Yes.
So that's one of my well-known pieces, which is easy to travel with. It's a cord, scissors, and I can use any pole. I could use the microphone post if I needed to.
Yeah.
So it's easy to travel with, which I absolutely love.
On your outfit, it's beautifully made, and as I recall from your act, and also the fact that it buttons all the way to the top. In other words, that you're trying to sell the magic and your act, and not your sex. You're not trying to be sexy or anything. So it's like, although it is a beautiful act, and your movement on stage, oh my goodness, the way that you can move so lithely, and so it's like, this is just art, walking art, and from one thing to the other, you're not jumping from something to the next. There is a logical movement, and very beautiful the way that you do that. And because of the dress, it's like we're not looking at your decollage or or whatever. And then when you change to like a leather jacket, then later a motorcycle jacket or something, then it completely changes, and you're going a different direction. Like you said with the American dress.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have to tell you why I decided to wear the Chinese dress.
Okay.
One, because it's the Chinese culture. Two, because in the late 80s, I didn't have a lot of women representatives in the magic world.
That's a good point. Not a lot of people who you could look up to or could pattern.
That's right.
I mean, Celeste Evans and trying to think who was working back then. Yeah.
And I didn't know of them because I worked. I didn't choose to work in a magic shop, but it was my first job.
And you weren't hanging out, going to magic conventions and all that either, yeah.
No, so I wasn't aware of who else was out there. But the reason I embraced my dress, the Chinese dress, to be covered from my neck down to my feet was because I knew that the male magicians out there would minimize my talent by saying, well, of course, she's got boobs and she's got,
she's
this
sexy.
and that. Yeah. I didn't want that to be the selling point.
Sure.
Like, look at me for what I can deliver as a magician, as a talent. Don't look at anything else other than that and judge me by that. So because I was covered up, they couldn't say that about me. And that was the first thing I wanted to stop right away.
That. Yeah, good point.
And because early on, it was hard. It was so easy to discount me as, of course, she's got boobs and ass. What else?
Yeah. Back then, I think it would be very difficult. It's still difficult as a woman, I think, to begin with. But you couple that with the fact that then you're back then Asian, in addition to a woman, and trying to get booked, and they're going to say, who is she again, and what does she do?
Yeah.
I just think it would have been a very hard sell back in the day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, from that Chinese act, I was thinking today about how it all changed. There aren't a whole lot of big stages to perform on nowadays.
I was going there eventually to ask about that very thing, about where you do perform, because again, I mentioned you performed all over the world and every place, but some of those venues are still not there in Madrid and elsewhere,
Right. I think a lot of things have changed. And, I've gone from the Chinese act to having illusions. I did cruise ships and I did illusions. And I did corporate shows, and then from
Did you have males assisting you?
I did.
Okay, funny.
Why not?
Well, of course.
But they didn't have to wear little tight clothing or anything. It was
Speedos or anything.
No Speedos. Yeah. They were dignified.
Yeah.
So I had that route. I still have some illusions, but I'm thinking that maybe it's time to let some of them go. I love some of them still.
Like?
I have the Blaney suspension, can never let that go.
Beautiful.
I have the origami, which I absolutely love. Those two I won't let go. I have the Wakeling sawing, which I also love, but everything takes so much space.
It does.
And you have to, for the Wakeling, you kind of have to get a contortionist to get in there. So
right.
Not easy. So some things just need to go. And I'm willing to let them go until all of them goes, because I'm not going to there are no stages, like we were saying. There aren't big stages to do this anymore.
So where do you? I mean, like today, we were here in San Antonio at the Magic Saloon, so they've got a nice theater.
Beautiful.
And there are more and more magic theaters that are opening, like the Hand and Eye in Chicago that's opening. And then, of course, then you've got the House of Magic that Mark D'Souza just opened, and different venues like that are around, Rhapsody Theater, et cetera. So,
but they're parlor-sized.
Okay.
They're parlor-sized performance spaces.
Good point. It's not going to seat like 300 people, 700 people.
And that's
and you prefer the larger?
Smart. No,
You like the intimate like
parlor?
this?
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
That it's a difference. It's the halfway point between close up and stage.
Yeah, I understand.
And they're close enough
parlor.
to see and connect with you.
That's why I like the Castle Parlor. It's so nice. You're right there.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite room as well. So
have you ever been nominated for any awards at the Castle?
No.
The Academy? Okay,
no,
just curious.
It's all right. Yeah. I show up once or twice a year. I do my bit that I love.
Because you were saying to begin with that was where you first really introduced your act.
That's right.
And I assume that didn't go as well the first time because you were finally honing that each time.
Sure.
You kind of said, okay, I need to do this the next time.
Absolutely.
So you had a good place to kind of work it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was the best place. And, having 21 shows a week.
Yeah.
That's the best practice.
Of course it is.
And like anything else, it's performing in front of an audience, doing fine tuning. As you'll see, I'll do some fine tuning today, just minor things. But I love a challenge. And I think that how I evolved is because for me, life is boring if I don't have a challenge.
Yeah, sister, I think that's the truth. I believe that. Yeah. Yeah, what is life if you can't be challenged? You're waking up doing the same thing every day?
No.
It's like,
No, I know. So whenever I work a venue, I booked it and I will say, okay, I've got to do something that's going to challenge me, perfect something. And because of this mentality, my repertoire has grown so much and it's so fun now.
It's almost difficult to choose what you want to do?
No.
Okay.
I still want more challenges.
No, I mean, as far as what you're doing in your act. I mean,
what? No. I think there's a flow, and you'll see. I
assume you have like an A, B, and C act, obviously, that you're doing.
Yeah, there are some things that I stick with because there's a narrative to who I am on stage now.
Well, you can't do Snowstorm in China in some places because they're saying no confetti or anything.
Oh, I don't. I absolutely don't do that in most places. They don't. Like parlor-sized theaters, please don't. They do not want to clean up after you.
Yeah, especially if you got 3 shows.
Exactly. They don't want it, even though it looks great. So I refrain. That's fine. Yeah. I only do the Snowstorm usually on real stages where they can just vacuum it up and it's not in the audience. It's just consideration for the theater.
Yeah. Sorry, got off on a tangent there.
So today when you see the show, you'll see that what's emphasized is my connection with the audience. And I think the one thing that most magicians are lacking. Okay, listen. I worked in the magic shop for 9 years. I do not want to present my show on stage as if I'm demonstrating magic. That by itself, I can fool you with this trick and that trick.
Might as well watch YouTube.
Yeah, that doesn't do it for me. I want a narrative. I think it's important for the audience to know a little bit about the performer.
You do tell good stories.
You know what? I'm getting very, very good at it because I think the audience crave it. And when they leave, it's not that, she fooled me with that trick. I don't know how those circles things work. I want them to say, wow, I really felt something. You know, the other day I was doing the torn and restored cigarette paper. It's a double restoration. And this little boy, he was 14, he came up and I said, anybody in the audience that would like to help me? Yeah. That's always wanted to be a magician. He raised his hand, he comes up.
Right.
And I said, your name's Walter, and you've always wanted to be a magician since you were 8, right? And he says, how did you know? How did you know? I don't even know you. Why do you know that? It's okay. But the moment it already started, right?
Yeah.
We do the restoration. I said, you hold on. We've both torn our papers. I said, you hold on, Walter, and I'm going to do this. Mine restores, and I blow mine into the audience. I said, now, your turn, Walter. He opens it up, and it's like, it's still in pieces. I said, Walter, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I forgot to tell you. Did you see me that I gently blew on the paper, and then I waved my hand magically over the ball? Did you see that? And he says, no, I forgot. I said, no, it was my fault. Here, let's do it again. So then I said, open up your hand like this, put the ball of paper there. Now, you gently blow on the ball and wave your hand over it. All right, now open it up. And when it opened up, you can see the moment something clicked in him. He slowly opened, and the moment of wonder was unfolding with the paper. And then when it was fully restored, he started crying.
Wow.
Because he didn't think it was possible. And yet it did. And then I just gave him that moment. I'm crying because the audience could see that this was something, because I had said, Walter, you're simply amazing. You have these powers that you're not aware of. And I just gave him a moment. I gave him a hug, and he was like wiping the tears off. And I said, remember, you can do anything you put your mind to. Here, stand up, take a bow. And he did. And the audience, that they felt that moment. Listen, that's what I want. It's not that the trick worked. I want them to feel that they are amazing. They're amazing human beings, each one of them. They can do things that they didn't think they could. And so it's those moments I want to recreate in every show, if I can.
And to feel an emotion about that. So it's not just, how did she do that?
Right.
But it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. And I had one woman after the show, she seemed really jaded, like she's from the West Coast. She says,
do you use that term a lot, jaded?
Jaded. No. But I just sensed that she was that type because she came out, and I could tell by the way she was dressed. And kind of a hard person. She says, I am so not about this, but your show really showed me something else different. Wow. And I thought, wow, that's what I want people to remember. Magic shows are not just to fool you.
Right.
It's to have an experience.
Right. That's memorable. That they can take on for the rest of their life and talk to people about generations from now.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's more important.
Is that your definition of magic? What is your definition of magic then?
My definition of magic, wow.
And you kind of said it there, I think.
Did I?
Yeah. And what you're talking about, that's something that is a memory that they are creating. You're wanting magic to last for a longer time. I mean, it's because I always said that magic is something that happens in an instant, but our job is to make that instant last longer.
Well said.
Well, I want you to say that, not me.
You just said it perfectly. I'll take that.
Okay.
Yes, I think more than anything that if I can touch them and make it a memory, because people will remember feelings more than what they saw.
Sure.
That way, it's by touching them in an emotional level that they will remember for very long.
And that's the same thing, not just with what you're doing on stage, but also people who are listening to this, who are doing birthday parties for children, that they're creating memories, not just for the birthday child, but for other people who are there, or even the parents in the back of the room going, wait a minute, what? Or maybe the story that you might tell, or something that just kind of goes forward with them for the rest of their life. And they're still talking about when they're at a senior's home saying, I remember when I was a child at a birthday party and this guy did such and such.
There you go.
So right. Those are the kinds of memories that you're talking about.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's make more of those.
Make more of those.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. That's the attempt. And I think, so the other thing I wanted to share with the audiences here is that it would be nice if the magicians oftentimes would allow themselves to be vulnerable, which means that they are making themselves relatable to the audience, because nobody is perfect. But when you're on stage and you're perfect, then you're like the fourth wall. You're like over there on the other side.
Right.
And it's a razzle dazzle, and isn't that amazing? That was nice.
Yeah, I'm a cool, you're a fool. Because I was fooling you.
Yeah. But when you start sharing your vulnerability with the audience, and you'll see in the afternoon show, I share myself because I want them to come into my world.
So you tell them personal stories about you, so this way they kind of, you open the door to Jade, so people can talk with you after saying, oh, I didn't know that about you, and that was an interesting story. And the magic was good too, and it's just kind of, but they remember you, and that's the thing they want, is to remember you more than the magic.
1,000%.
Okay.
I don't really care about the magic as much, but the magic is the vehicle. Exactly. Yeah, the message is more important.
Just like in a trade show.
Exactly.
You work trade shows?
Early on in my career, it's hard work. I can't stand there for 8 hours. It's hard work. And we have to wear heels. It's not nice.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That wouldn't be right, because if you're working at a trade show, I would think that ladies shouldn't be wearing high heels. I mean, even those who are working behind the booth, who are the employees, probably are wearing flats, I would think. But anyhow.
It's hard. It's hard for a lady.
But when you were talking about the illusions earlier, I know some people, like Paul Gertner, used to do illusions, like origami at trade shows. So did you ever do illusions at trade shows, or just
it was just me. It was just a
close
few,
up?
Yeah. Like maybe I did it 5 or 6 times close up.
Do you like close up and work in restaurants or that kind of a thing, or hospitality suites, or strolling parties, cocktail parties?
I do close up for strolling, because oftentimes corporate events, they don't have a stage set, but they'll have a magician to roam around so that you're a movable act.
Sure.
So that happens often enough. And I don't advertise this, but I do have a laboratory that I work at. Whenever I'm in town in the San Francisco Bay Area, there's a restaurant called Hurricane, and it's right next to the Redwood City Yacht Club. So we have fancy diners that come in. Like I was told Elon Musk has lunch there. Steph Curry comes once a month.
You haven't worked his table, I assume.
I've not seen them. I've not seen them, but I know
you can retire from the tip he'd probably give you.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But anyway, that place is what I call the laboratory, because when I do the corporate shows, my game has to be on 1,000% that I'm on par with everything that they accept. You can't break in the new trick when you're doing a corporate show. So where do I do it? The restaurant. Once a week, if I'm in town, I get to go. I haven't been there for about a month, but whenever I'm in town, I go and practice something new. I don't want to do the same things that I've already mastered. But that's the only way we can possibly keep going forward. And
that reminds me, it seems like that Marvin Roy had told me that he had worked a restaurant regularly too. And that kind of kept him sharp, even though he was out performing all around the world doing a silent act, with Carol, but he still kind of kept his chops performing close-up, which I never thought of Marvin as doing close-up. I'm maybe wrong about that, but I think he was the one who told me. Does that ring a bell to you then?
Yeah, I don't know so much about Marvin, but that sounds about right, because near the end, as he slowed down, he did do a lot of close-up.
Yeah.
It's suitable. And there's nothing wrong with close-up. Close-up effects really hit them hard,
Right.
when they don't know what's happening. Yeah.
Right. When you said that you were working cruise ships, though, and you said that, and you had done some illusions on the cruises, I assume it's been a while since you've worked cruise ships, because things have evolved, they've changed a lot.
They have.
And so it's not quite the same anymore from getting booked on a cruise ship, even from what that it was before.
Right. So. Now they've changed the rules. They don't want illusions.
Oh, they want more comedy, don't they?
I don't know what it is they want, but they want you to pack 2 large suitcases and 1 carry-on. And that's what you do 2 45-minute shows with.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm ready. I do not want to drag those big illusions because it's costly.
Well, as we're getting older, and that's another thing I was kind of going to eventually get into as we start to get close to the end here, is about the end and what is your long-term plan? I remember I was talking with Bobby Becker, who, with Fred and Bobby doing cruise ships, and she was saying some time ago, I think I'm done, and that at a certain point, I don't think that people want to see me on stage, and maybe they want to see Fred, but not me, and so she said, I think I'm just going to bow out, and I'm not suggesting that at all, or you're anywhere near that, but is there something, let's say 20 years from now, do you have like an end game? Do you want to continue to do the show that you're currently doing? Do you want to continue to evolve that into something? Or then finally say, I think I'm going to hang up my wand?
Well, here's the thing. I think that you'll see in this show that there's no age limit to what I'm doing. It's the storytelling that I'm doing.
Yes.
And sharing moments of magic, that I could be 80 and still be doing it.
Good point.
Because it's not about me being sexy on stage. It's the story and the moments of magic.
You're a human being.
I'm a human being, just like all of you out here in the audience. And it might be more interesting as I age, I think.
Yeah, because you have more wisdom.
Yeah, right.
And more experience.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you see a young person doing mentalism saying, well, I went to the Far East in India and learned from this fakir. It's like, no, you haven't. But they believe me now.
Right. Exactly.
Now that I've got gray hair, I'm an old guy. Whether it's true or not, I can make it sound like that it is. And so, when you engage with the audience also, do you feel that you use your body language and your eyes to kind of focus on people? I remember I've heard Jeff McBride and Vito Lupo and others talk about the importance of engaging people and looking at people in the back of the audience and bringing them in and everything, like
always.
that.
I think from my stage training, I've learned to always look to the cheapest seats. People up in the balcony, because that's usually where I'm sitting, in the cheap seats. Please recognize me, I'm here.
Yeah.
So, and of course I'll glance in the front because I know that I see them with the lights and everything. But
sure.
I'll know before the show starts, are there people in the balcony? Are there people in the dark parts of the theater? I will look at them.
Yeah.
And acknowledge them, even if I don't really see them. And also at the same time, I'm projecting. Not that I have to. There are sometimes when I don't use a mic. If it's small enough, I'll just go to the furthest room for this person sitting in the room and then project, because I want them to hear me.
Sure.
But simple theater, this is training.
And you'd study theater in college or dance? I guess you would say dance, isn't that right?
A little bit of dance, a little bit of theater.
Movement's so important on stage. And obviously the details, I said, the way you move so lively.
Oh, thank you. I have to say, I'm not a dancer. However, I move well. And that's all that matters. I know about body lines. I know what my what I want to present.
Yeah, the way you
on
put
stage.
one leg out, and the point or whatever. I mean, it's symmetrically, and the way that it looks is just.
That's a body line thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, exactly. I could do that. No fancy pirouettes or anything. Yeah.
You mentioned Julianne Chen earlier on. I know that she teaches and that she has been on, I guess, China's Got Talent and other kinds of, as a judge or whatever.
Right.
Have you taught or many people have you gone back? Have you gone to China? Have you?
No, because I was born in Indonesia, so China is not my main connection. I'm Chinese, but born in Indonesia.
Right.
So China, I don't have any
connections there. No family or anything there?
No.
Everybody's in Indonesia.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so that's her area.
Okay.
Juliana.
Yeah.
She's well
How about
connected.
Indonesia then? Do you ever go back over there and then perform or teach when you're visiting family? Or
No.
Okay.
It's
you disassociate yourself.
It's a very third world thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. I love the food.
Yeah. Do you have a lecture? Have you lectured at Magic Conventions?
Well, you know what? So I'm right after this week when I'm done at the Magic Saloon, I'm performing and lecturing at the Magic Convention in Mexico. And there they've said, can you do a lecture?
Is that Flasoma?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's something else. So it's happening right after, it's starting on the 5th of May. So I was thinking, what do I talk about? And I think some of the things that I discussed, and also helping the people put an act together. I think I know about, if you're putting in a magic act together, it kind of depends. Are you doing a magic act for a magic convention or a real life public
paying
show?
Public.
Exactly. There are some thoughts. And also I was going to teach them my handling on the rice bowls. I think when I was performing the Chinese act a lot, there were people that wanted to buy my rice bowls. And I just never bothered because then you have to do a teaching video and it was just too much work and I was busy with my things and I never answered those requests. But I'm going to teach it at the Magic Convention in Mexico. And some fine points and some disastrous things that happened because I didn't know any better. I didn't study the rice bowls. I didn't study anybody else's rice bowls. I made my own.
That's interesting.
From the very beginning.
Okay.
And
so you didn't learn someone else's mistakes. You made your own.
Made my own mistakes and I learned. And the presentation is also my own and I figured out some things. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, well, just was curious of whether that you had done a penguin lecture or anything. It sounds like now might be the time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that I have, I think for penguin lectures and all of that, they are interested in learning new tricks. Not
how to put together an act.
That's right. No, not interested.
Probably right.
Yeah.
That's more what this podcast is about learning how people construct an act. And so what you shared here, I think a lot of people will learn from about your experiences and how that you had structured your act and built this up to be what it is and put things in and taking things out. So it's been very important what I think you've shared here, but that may not be something that people would want to go and buy a download.
That's right. Absolutely. And not at all. But if anybody has any questions about, how do I go on this track? One of the opening acts came in on Thursday and he's never seen me perform before. And he opened for me and he did a lot of card tricks. And at the end of my show, he says, "Wow, Jade, I've never seen an act like yours. But I'm thinking maybe I should incorporate something about my own life into my presentation." I said, yes, that makes you a real person. And because he says, everything I do is kind of like just out of the box. And that's how most people present their magic, out of the box. My double cross, you'll see it's different because it's not about the trick. It's about what I give the volunteer on stage. It's the message I give them.
Yeah.
And it's always about that. It's not about me at all. I'm emboldening the person that comes up and giving them power to say, you can do it. You're amazing. And you're more magical than you know you are. Those are my messages, because for me to say, hey, I can do this, Nobody cares because I'm a magician. But if they can do it, then they are magic.
Yeah, when you empower them.
That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, there a lot of times I will close my act with a gypsy thread, in which each time that I tear it, I talk about my life and my family and growing up and leaving the house and getting married and our children and then them leaving and then my wife passing and me going on and grandkids and how that I put my life and all this is all part of me. Beautiful. And so at the end, it is beautiful and that I touch emotions such that it's the last thing that people remember and they come to me and talk about, oh, I'm sorry about your wife or that, I'm glad that, you're loving your grandchildren and et cetera, et cetera. But it's not about me until the end that I want them to know me, and my character as opposed to, just as you said, taking something out of the box and reading the script that comes with it.
That's right. Yeah, just go outside of yourself and make yourself vulnerable. Show yourself because we're all human and nobody is perfect. And I think the more imperfection you show and share with the audience, the easier it is for them to connect with you.
Yeah. No, that's true. Well, listen, I appreciate your time we've had here today, and because it's soon going to be time for you to do a tech rehearsal here.
Yes.
But I do want to close because the name of my podcast is called The Magic Word. So I'm springing this on you about what would be your magic word? What is it that's important to you?
Love.
That comes so quickly and so freely out of your mouth. That's something that obviously you live with all the time, of love. And so it's important to love and love your audience and love your art and what you're doing. So I love you and I thank you very much for sharing your time.
Thank you so much, Scott.
So for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Jade. This is Scotty out. Thank you, Jade, for being my guest this week on the Magic Word Podcast. It was delightful. What a conversation. I really enjoyed that. I can't believe that an hour went by so quickly as it did. And it was great hearing about some of your exploits and also how that you have achieved so much in such a short life. So continued good luck in the future. And I thank you again for sharing those ideas and being candid with us. And I also look forward, listeners, to any of you who happen to be attending the SAM convention next week. Please stop by to see me. And I say that because I've been given a dealer's booth. And so I'm going to be, I think it's going to be situated just right outside of the dealer's room, but I'm going to be there someplace. So please stop by, say hello. And I'm going to have my microphone. And I'd like to be able to chat with as many of you as I can to kind of let the rest of the listeners hear your thoughts, perhaps, about the convention and how things are going. And if you, again, can't be there, then you can listen to the reports. And also, I want to, again, wish a happy birthday to Bruce Lish, which will be coming up on June the 27th. So happy early birthday here today as we celebrate your birthday, Bruce. So until next week, stay well, get booked, and remember to always have love in your heart. Love for your audience, love for yourself, and love for your family. This is Scotty out.